What if I told you that the very steps you are taking right now to protect your eyesight during the day are being systematically undone the moment you close your eyes at night? We meticulously apply blue light filters, shield our eyes with UV protection, and take breaks from our screens, thinking we are doing all the right things. But while you are asleep, in what should be your body's critical window of repair, a silent dark sabotage is occurring deep within the layers of your retina. A cellular crisis that most doctors, frankly, don't have the time to explain to you, or perhaps don't fully understand the nocturnal mechanics of themselves. While you rest, your retina enters a hyper-metabolic state. Its energy demands skyrocket, consuming more oxygen and nutrients than almost any other tissue in your body, pound for pound. But for many adults over 60, this critical repair window is met with nutritional starvation, allowing oxidative stress and cellular debris to accumulate, accelerating the very damage that leads to blurry vision, macular degeneration, and cataracts. The visual decline you are experiencing isn't just an inevitable consequence of aging. It's a direct result of this nighttime regenerative failure. My name is Dr. Liam Cooper, and for over 2 decades, I have specialized in anti-aging medicine and the precise science of tissue regeneration, with a particular focus on ocular health. Today, I am going to reveal how you can hijack this overnight repair window, leveraging the newest, most advanced evidence on specific natural compounds found in everyday fruits. We are going to explore how the timing and preparation of what you eat before bed can catalyze a profound cellular renewal in your retina, potentially halting or even reversing the damage that threatens your independence and clarity of vision. Get ready, because the science we are about to cover is far more powerful and targeted than anything you've been told before. To understand why your vision faces its greatest vulnerability during sleep, we have to look at the sheer biological audacity of the human eye. Most people assume that when they turn off the lights and close their lids, their eyes go to sleep right along with them. In reality, the exact opposite is true. The moment your eyes are shielded from external light, an intense, highly demanding biological night shift begins deep within the ocular architecture. Pound for pound, the retina is the most metabolically active tissue in the entire human body. It consumes oxygen and utilizes energy at a rate that surpasses even the brain and the heart. During the day, your photoreceptor cells, the specialized rods and cones that capture light, are under constant, grueling stress. They are bombarded by ultraviolet rays, high-energy blue light from digital screens, and environmental toxins. This relentless daytime activity generates a massive accumulation of cellular waste and highly reactive molecules known as free radicals. If this waste is left to pile up, it triggers a state of chronic low-grade retinal microinflammation. Think of it like toxic sludge coating a delicate piece of machinery. Over time, this sludge suffocates the retinal pigment epithelium, which is the foundational support layer responsible for keeping your vision sharp, vibrant, and clear. This is precisely how age-related macular degeneration and progressive visual blurring take root. So, when does the body clean up this toxic sludge? It happens exclusively at night during the deepest phases of your sleep cycle. When the retina is finally free from processing incoming light, it initiates a complex process of cellular autophagy, literally eating and recycling its own damaged components, alongside a massive wave of tissue repair. However, because this nocturnal cleanup is so hypermetabolic, it requires a staggering amount of fuel. The tiny capillaries feeding the back of your eye must deliver a continuous, high-volume stream of specific antioxidants, micronutrients, and oxygen to sustain the work. Herein lies the critical crisis for adults over the age of 60. As we age, systemic circulation naturally pares down, and microvascular elasticity decreases. If you go to bed with your bloodstream starved of the precise molecular building blocks the retina needs, the night shift fails. The cleanup grinds to a halt. The body tries to execute a multi-million-dollar repair job with zero materials. Night after night, this incomplete regeneration compounds. You wake up with that frustrating morning blur that takes an hour to clear. You notice your contrast sensitivity fading, making colors look washed out. You find yourself gripping the steering wheel tighter at night because headlights leave long, blinding streaks across your field of view. You are told it is just old age, but it is actually a nutritional deficit occurring in the dark. By strategically introducing targeted, bioavailable compounds into your bloodstream exactly 60 to 90 minutes before sleep, we can essentially flood the retinal microcirculation. We can ensure that when the eye's night shift begins, the cells have an abundance of the exact ammunition required to neutralize free radicals, repair damaged DNA, and restore visual pigments. In the next segment, we will begin looking at the highly specific advanced fruits that make this overnight resurrection possible. Knowing that the retina needs nutrients at night is only half the battle. The real medical challenge, one that I have spent the last 20 years analyzing, is delivery. The human eye is guarded by one of the tightest, most exclusive security systems in biology, the blood-retinal barrier. This barrier is a dense network of tightly packed cells designed to protect your delicate neural architecture from foreign toxins. Unfortunately, it also locks out about 90% of standard dietary antioxidants. Most of what you consume never actually reaches the back of the eye. To achieve overnight repair, we must utilize compounds possessing specific molecular structures that hold a master key to this barrier. Our first true heavyweight in this category is the dark purple blackcurrant. While mainstream media constantly pushes standard berries, clinical ophthalmology focuses heavily on blackcurrants due to their unparalleled concentration of a specific family of pigments called anthocyanins, specifically delphinidin 3-rutinoside and cyanidin 3-rutinoside. These specific compounds possess the unique ability to penetrate the blood-retinal barrier with remarkable efficiency, binding directly to the light-sensitive tissues of the retina. Once inside, they target a highly destructive nighttime phenomenon, the breakdown of rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is the foundational sensory pigment in your eyes responsible for low-light vision and dark adaptation. As we pass 60, the regeneration of this pigment slows to a crawl, which is why night driving becomes so terrifying. Blackcurrant anthocyanins act as a biochemical catalyst, accelerating the overnight resynthesis of rhodopsin. Furthermore, a critical clinical trial published in the Journal of Ocular Pharmacology and Therapeutics demonstrated that these specific blackcurrant compounds directly modulate ocular blood flow by relaxing the microvascular walls surrounding the optic nerve. Blackcurrants increase localized perfusion without altering systemic intraocular pressure. This means that while you sleep, a highly concentrated stream of oxygenated blood is actively delivered to the nerve heads, preventing the silent cellular death that causes tunnel vision and visual field loss. But our nighttime defense cannot stop at circulation. It must also confront a silent metabolic predator known as glycation. Every single day, glucose in your bloodstream binds to proteins in your eye tissue, creating stiff, sticky, warped structures called advanced glycation end products, fittingly abbreviated as AGEs. This process is highly active at night when blood sugar fluctuates. In the lens of your eye, glycation causes proteins to clump together, turning a crystal clear lens yellow, cloudy, and rigid. This is the exact birth of a cataract. In the retina, glycation destroys the elasticity of the microcapillaries, causing them to leak and suffocate surrounding photoreceptors. To shatter this process before you sleep, we introduce fully ripe mango. Mango is the planet's premier source of a rare, highly potent C-glucoside xanthone called mangiferin. Mangiferin is a heavy-duty anti-glycation agent. Molecular biology has shown that mangiferin physically interferes with the binding process between glucose and ocular proteins, effectively blocking the formation of these destructive AGEs while you rest. It protects the crystal architecture of your lens from clouding and preserves the delicate filtration systems of the retina. In the upcoming sections, we will explore the precise fruits that shield the center of your vision and eliminate the debris clouding your daily life. If there is one part of the eye that requires an absolute, unyielding defensive wall after the age of 60, it is the macula. Located at the direct center of your retina, this tiny specialized zone is responsible for your sharpest, highest resolution vision. It is what allows you to look directly at a loved one's face and see the expressions in their eyes, read the fine print on a prescription bottle, or thread a needle. Yet, because the macula is responsible for processing the highest concentration of light during the day, it bears the brunt of systemic oxidative destruction at night. To build an impenetrable shield around this high-value target while you sleep, we rely on the extraordinary biochemistry of the dried goji berry. For centuries, traditional systems hinted at its power, but modern molecular science has finally uncovered the exact mechanism. Goji berries are the most densely concentrated natural source of zeaxanthin on Earth. To truly understand why this matters, you must realize that your macula is entirely dependent on two dietary carotenoids to survive, lutein and zeaxanthin. They form what ophthalmologists call the macular pigment optical density, or MPOD. Think of the MPOD as a pair of internal yellow-tinted sunglasses permanently shielding the deepest layers of your central vision. Lutein migrates to the outer edges of the retina, but zeaxanthin concentrates directly at the very center, the fovea. As we age, this internal shield thins out, leaving the delicate central photoreceptors completely exposed to cellular degradation, the exact hallmark of age-related macular degeneration. A groundbreaking clinical trial, published in the journal Nutrients, proved that older adults who consumed a targeted daily portion of goji berries for 90 days experienced a massive, measurable increase in their macular pigment density. The internal shield was structurally rebuilt, and notably, the progression of central visual distortion was completely halted. When you introduce goji berries before sleep, you are directly delivering the physical raw materials required to patch, thicken, and reinforce the center of your vision during its midnight repair cycle. While goji berries protect the back of the eye, another frustrating phenomenon occurs right in the middle of it: eye floaters. Almost every patient over 60 asks me about those translucent spots, hairs, or cobwebs that drift across their vision. Standard ophthalmology often dismisses them, telling patients their brains will eventually learn to ignore them. But as a specialist in tissue regeneration, I refuse to accept that passive approach. Floaters are caused by vitreous liquefaction. The vitreous is a thick, clear gel filling the center of your eyeball, held together by a precise scaffold of collagen fibers. Over time, chronic low-grade intraocular inflammation and oxidative stress cause these collagen fibers to denature, break apart, and clump together, casting shadows onto your retina. To combat this, we introduce fresh pineapple. Pineapple is the exclusive dietary home of bromelain, a highly complex mixture of proteolytic or protein-digesting enzymes. When consumed on an empty stomach in the evening, bromelain enters systemic circulation and is capable of reaching the ocular tissues. Once there, it exerts a powerful anti-inflammatory effect and acts as a biological scavenger, systematically targeting and helping to break down the fragments of denatured, clumped collagen floating in the vitreous gel. By supporting the structural cleanup of this internal ocular fluid while you sleep, you are actively clearing the visual pathway, allowing you to wake up to a brighter, sharper, and noticeably clearer world. As we move deeper into this targeted evening protocol, we must address the absolute necessity of cellular oxygenation. Many adults over 60 experience a terrifying yet completely hidden event every single night called retinal hypoxia. When you drop into deep sleep, your blood pressure naturally dips and your breathing changes. For older adults with compromised microcapillaries, this drop reduces the amount of oxygen reaching the back of the eye. The retina, gasping for air in the dark, triggers an inflammatory survival mechanism that actually accelerates the death of light-sensitive cells. To stop this nocturnal suffocation, we introduce the deep, red-fleshed dragon fruit. The white-fleshed varieties you often see in supermarkets will not work for this specific therapeutic purpose. You must locate the variety with the vibrant, deep crimson interior. This specific fruit is packing an immense payload of betalains, highly specialized nitrogenous pigments that double as potent vascular modulators. Once metabolized, betalains trigger a significant localized release of nitric oxide within the tiny ocular blood vessels. Nitric oxide is the exact signaling molecule your body uses to relax, dilate, and open up collapsed capillaries. By widening the pathways that lead directly to your photoreceptors, red dragon fruit ensures a steady, high-volume flow of oxygenated, nutrient-dense blood throughout the hours of sleep. A major study exploring microvascular kinetics confirmed that consistent intake of betalain-rich compounds dramatically improves ocular circulation and contrast sensitivity, meaning you can distinguish fine lines and textures much better, even in dim or fading light. But our microvascular defense must be paired with an elite cellular bodyguard, which brings us to the dark, purple-black mulberry. For decades, the the medical community has marveled at a longevity compound called resveratrol, celebrating its ability to protect the heart and brain. However, standard resveratrol has a massive flaw. It has incredibly poor oral bioavailability. It is heavily metabolized by your liver before it ever reaches your organs. Mulberries solve this medical riddle. They contain a highly unique, naturally modified structural cousin of resveratrol known as oxyresveratrol. This slight molecular variation alters how the compound interacts with your digestive tract, making it vastly more stable and bioavailable than standard supplements. Oxyresveratrol possesses the rare ability to cross the blood-retinal barrier effortlessly, migrating straight to your retinal ganglion cells. These ganglion cells are the actual neurons that form your optic nerve, transmitting visual data directly from your eye to your brain. In conditions like glaucoma or advanced optical aging, these nerve cells undergo a process called apoptosis. They essentially switch off and die under oxidative pressure. Modern ophthalmological research has shown that oxyresveratrol directly activates the SIRT1 gene pathway inside the eye. This is a highly specific cellular survival pathway that forces the mitochondria, the power plants inside your eye neurons, to repair their own DNA and resist cellular death. By flooding your optic nerve with oxyresveratrol 60 minutes before bed, you are placing a protective armor around the very nerves that keep you connected to the visual world, defending your independence from the inside out. In the next section, we will reveal the undisputed #1 fruit that ties this entire overnight resurrection together. We have arrived at the absolute pinnacle of this nocturnal eye protocol, the undisputed #1 fruit for age-related vision defense. Dark, purple-red grapes, specifically varieties like Concord, Black Muscat, or deep red globe grapes, consumed whole with their skins and their seeds. Most people view grapes as a simple, casual snack, completely oblivious to the fact that when consumed deliberately in the evening, they launch a massive, synchronized assault across 4 distinct destructive pathways simultaneously. While most natural compounds target a single issue like inflammation or oxidative stress, dark grapes deliver a comprehensive biochemical strike. First, they cross the blood-retinal barrier to shield photoreceptors from oxidative death. Second, they actively restore microvascular elasticity to the tiny capillaries behind the macula. Third, they act as a heavy-duty shield against lens glycation. Fourth, they aggressively suppress vitreoretinal inflammation. To unlock this medical-grade synergy, you must completely reevaluate how you eat this fruit. The true power does not reside in the sweet flesh. It is locked inside the skin and the seeds, the very parts most people discard or swallow whole. The deep purple skin contains the highest whole food concentration of resveratrol alongside pterostilbene, an incredibly potent molecular cousin. Pterostilbene features a unique structural modification that makes it up to 4 times more bioavailable than standard resveratrol, giving it a vastly extended half-life in your body. This means it stays active in your bloodstream, protecting your eyes for the entire duration of your sleep cycle. The seeds are even more remarkable. They are the Earth's premier source of oligomeric proanthocyanidins, or OPCs. OPCs are specialized free radical scavengers that are exponentially more powerful than vitamin C or vitamin E. They possess a specific molecular weight that allows them to pass directly into the ocular fluids, where they bind to the collagen structures of your blood vessels and vitreous, preventing microhemorrhages and tissue tearing. But there is a strict clinical rule. You must deliberately chew the seeds. If you swallow them whole, the protective outer hull remains intact, and these life-saving OPCs pass through your digestive system completely unabsorbed. A comprehensive multi-cohort meta-analysis published in Nutrients reviewed over 3 decades of data on grape-derived compounds and ocular health. The conclusions were definitive. Regular, long-term consumption of these specific whole grape polyphenols was consistently and independently linked to a dramatically reduced risk of nuclear cataracts, macular thinning, and glaucomatous visual field loss. By introducing 12 to 15 dark seed-in grapes into your evening routine, you are not just eating fruit, you are deploying a highly sophisticated, scientifically validated botanical intervention. You are flooding your ocular tissues with an abundance of barrier-crossing antioxidants, vascular stabilizers, and anti-aging compounds, precisely as your body prepares for its deep midnight regeneration. In our final segments, we will outline the exact non-negotiable rules of preparation and timing required to make these fruits work, ensuring your eyes receive the full therapeutic benefit. You can source the highest quality fruits on the planet, but if you do not understand the strict molecular laws of absorption, you are completely wasting your time. Your body does not automatically assimilate these powerful vision compounds. To force these nutrients past your digestive tract and directly into the microcapillaries of your retina, you must follow 5 precise clinical rules of preparation and timing every single evening. Rule 1 is the fat synchronization law. Many of the heaviest hitters on this list, including the beta-carotene in cantaloupe, the mangiferin in mango, and the resveratrol and OPCs in dark grapes, are strictly fat-soluble molecules. If you consume these fruits on their own, your digestive system simply cannot unpack them, and up to 80% of the active vision compounds are excreted unabsorbed. You must pair your evening fruit with a small, clean source of healthy fat, 4 to 6 raw walnuts, a teaspoon of organic flaxseed oil, or a quarter of a small avocado is mandatory. This single addition triggers the specific biliary enzymes required to emulsify the nutrients, boosting their delivery to your eyes by more than 50%. Rule 2 is the 90-minute dairy separation gap. Calcium is a highly aggressive mineral in the gut. When the proteins in milk, yogurt, or cheese come into contact with anthocyanins and polyphenols, they bind together, forming a locked molecular matrix that your body cannot break down. Studies have proven that consuming dairy within 90 minutes of antioxidant-rich fruits slashes your eye nutrient absorption by over 30%. Treat your evening eye routine as a standalone, clean ritual. Rule 3 is the gentle wash protocol. Aggressive scrubbing or soaking your berries under hard, pressurized tap water physically strips away the delicate, hyper-concentrated antioxidant layers residing on the skin. Rinse your blueberries, blackcurrants, and grapes very gently under cool water. Pat them dry, and only wash them immediately before consumption, never hours in advance. Rule 4 is the room temperature mandate. Cold temperatures completely paralyze the functional activity of vital ocular enzymes, most notably the bromelain in pineapple and the protective enzymes in papaya. Taking fruit straight from a cold refrigerator kills its therapeutic potential. You must leave your evening portion on the counter for 30 to 60 minutes to allow it to reach full room temperature before eating. Rule 5 is the precise 60 to 90-minute metabolic window. Timing is everything. If you eat these fruits immediately before your head hits the pillow, the mechanical process of active digestion will disrupt your deep sleep architecture, cutting short the very repair window you are trying to maximize. Conversely, if you eat them too early in the evening, the peak blood concentration of these compounds will pass and clear through your kidneys before your eyes ever enter their midnight regeneration phase. Hit that 60 to 90-minute window consistently to perfectly synchronize peak nutrient availability with the retina's biological demand. When you bring all of these pieces together, a profound realization occurs. Blurry vision, fading contrast, and the constant fear of losing your night vision are not an inevitable sentence of getting older. They are the clear, measurable signals of a system that is crying out for specialized structural support during its most critical hours of vulnerability. Think about what it would mean to step back into a life of absolute clarity. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and reading the numbers on the clock instantly without that frustrating, heavy fog. Imagine driving down a dark road at dusk with absolute confidence. Your hands relaxed on the steering wheel because headlights no longer dissolve into blinding, anxious streaks. Think about looking across the dinner table and seeing every single detail, every expression, and every smile on the faces of the people you love with crystal clear precision. This is not a distant dream. It is about reclaiming your independence, your confidence, and your ultimate quality of life through the power of targeted, evidence-based nutrition. My name is Dr. Liam Cooper. Over my 2 decades in this field, I have seen that the most remarkable transformations in health do not come from extreme interventions. They come from applying the right science, with the right timing, consistently every single day. Take care of your eyes. They are entirely irreplaceable, and they deserve the finest care you can provide. Please remember that everything shared in this video is for educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you are experiencing changes in your vision, always consult with a licensed eye care professional. If this advanced breakdown brought value to your life, please hit the like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss our daily health research. Share this video with someone you care about who is over 60. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.